In this episode of TGIF, we discuss names
like Powder Drift, AutoCats, Manual Car India.
Anand becomes Indian.
I had chai and vada pav this morning in my breakfast, so I am as Indian as you guys are.
Akash is called fat.
I'm definitely fast on that track, but how slow are you?
And Mira drives slow cars. And a lot more.
Hello everyone, auto enthusiasts, auto nuts, couch potatoes. Welcome to the freshly brewed TGIF.
Thank God it is Friday. Although we could have done a lot many things, stereotypical Friday things, but it won't look good in front of the camera, right?
The pull doesn't stick anywhere. And it is Friday. And it is the last working day. What are we doing here?
Correct. This is the key. Tomorrow we'll talk about it.
But what's TGIF then? Just a modern acronym that the team suggested and you went along with it?
No, Mira, we had some great suggestions like
Powder Drift, AutoCats, Manual Car India, Underdrive, and also Evolution.
I had a better one.
What's that?
The only automotive show that you guys need to watch, TOASN.
Bro, you yourself can't pronounce it. Remember?
No, Saneth. So guys, that's why we called it TGIF. Agree with that? This is a better name than these creative suggestions.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But are we guys trying to follow the success of the OG Top Gear show? Are we trying too hard?
No, absolutely not. But at least we are doing something different and something new.
So let me summarize. What we are essentially trying to do is that through the course of the week, whatever is the best car, launches, bikes, whatever has come to our garage and we have ridden, we have driven, we have flown all over the world or in the country, we'll put all of this together and then there's a lot more to it.
So let me make it much more clearer so that they can understand. You get your favorite liquids, alcoholic or non-alcoholic. Let's not talk about it. Yeah, but then you mix all of it into a nice cocktail on a chilled Friday and then have it. That's TGIF for you. But instead of your favorite liquids, you get served with your favorite bits of automotive bits.
That's what essentially it is, guys.
But isn't it getting too crowded, guys?
Yeah, it is.
People!
Yeah, they have to work on the next show, guys.
Okay.
You know. So Anand, you recently rode the 3 Roadsters, exclusive to us, by the way. Tell us something about it. Interesting comments, Akash. Remember?
Yes, very interesting ones. Would you like to share a few things?
Yeah, so we compared the Guerrilla 450 with the Speed 400 and the Harley-Davidson X440, and on a verdict we made the Triumph Speed 400 win because it turned out to be a better motorcycle than these other 2 motorcycles. But then given our roots, the British roots, BBC, thanks to BBC, people were eager enough to jump to conclusions that we are a British brand catering to a British brand, that is Triumph motorcycles for you. But people, I had chai and vada pav this morning in my breakfast, so I am as Indian as you guys are. And we drew that conclusion while riding these roadsters hard. I mean, sir rode the Guerrilla in Barcelona thanks to my visa getting rejected. I had to ride the Guerrilla in Belapur, so you see the difference.
So that's why my opinion was also very different because, I think Guerrilla is competent because I was riding in Barcelona Hills, Spain, beautiful roads. It was just a dream riding that motorcycle. Thanks, Anand, and I'm sorry I'm rubbing it off on him.
The seat is getting a little on fire, sorry, before we start with the X440. But yeah, like X440, Guerrilla, Speed 400, we said that the Speed 400 is faster than the Guerrilla. And a lot of comments. And would you like to say why it is so?
Just watch it yourself, guys, because I have talked a lot about these motorcycles, so the reviews link should be popping up on your screens right about now. I shot this comparison in rains, getting dirty and mucky all over the place, but it must have been sunny in Goa, no, where you tested the budget Urus.
Well, and no, it's not sunny. On the contrary, it's raining. But I am in Goa here to talk to you about trends. Now, most of us, when we bought our first car, it was a hatchback. And then we wanted to take around our family with boot space. And that's when sedans became popular. And for the last decade or so, it has been dominated by SUVs because we demanded for more space, more practicality, more ground clearance to battle our everyday roads. And this might just mark the start of a new trend, the SUV coupes. Now this is the Citroen Basalt and it's India's first affordable SUV coupe, and today we're gonna drive it. Under the hood, powering the Basalt are two 1.2-litre petrol engines. There's an 82 horsepower, 115 Newton meter naturally aspirated unit paired to a 5-speed manual transmission and a 110 horsepower turbo petrol mated to two transmission options. There's a 6-speed manual which gets 190 Nm of torque, and there's a 6-speed torque converter unit which generates 205 Nm of torque. Behind the wheel, if Citroen does one thing well, it's comfort, and the Basalt is dead comfy. You sit quite upright in a perched position that lets you see clearly over the road in front of you, and the softest suspension paired with the lightweight steering wheel all combine to make the Basalt a very comfortable, easy-going car to drive around the city. It soaks up bumps in a way which is comparable with SUVs 1 or 2 segments above it, and its engine has enough meat to easily help you move away from a standstill and fill the gaps in traffic. The automatic transmission is well calibrated with smooth upshifts and handles the 3-pot engine's torque quite well. And while there is a manual mode for the gearbox, it's the Triptronic drive and not the paddle shifters that I would have liked. It's a similar story on the highway too. Here the ride remains settled and the soft supportive seats means it's comfortable over long distances. The engine remains impressively quiet too. Not hard to see why it's won the Global Engine of the Year award for Citroen. In the corners, the expected body roll is present, which is a downside of the soft suspension setup. So it's not a very fun car in a dynamic way, but it's a relaxing cruiser, and that aspect of the car it manages to do so very well. The Basalt's exterior is unmistakably Citroen, with the two iconic chevrons prominently displayed. And the fascia bears a strong resemblance to the C3 Across because that's what it's based on. But the Basalt looks more robust and premium. And while the DRL signature mirrors that of the C3 and the C3 Across, the headlamps that this one gets are full LEDs. The bumper features larger air grille inserts, 4 silver skid plates and squared off wheel arches on the side, enhancing its rugged appeal. It sits on 16-inch diamond cut alloy wheels and overall gets 180 mm of ground clearance. The sloping roofline flows into a high deck lid which ends into an extended type of a spoiler. The 3D tail lamps have a wraparound design and have halogen bulbs in it, but they're designed in a way to look like LEDs. Now overall the design is distinctively quirky in a very French way, and it makes the Basalt stand out from everything else that's on the road. On the inside, the Basalt carries the dashboard from the C3 Across, but there are notable upgrades here. The most welcome update is the new HVAC panel with digital readouts and toggle switches with auto AC function over the manual AC on the C3 Across with those rotary dials. Other upgrades include a new larger front armrest with storage space and adjustability. It continues with a 10.25-inch infotainment screen that is borrowed from the C3 Across and the 7-inch digital instrument cluster in the higher spec variants. It gets a familiar 3-spoke steering wheel, a 15-watt wireless charging pad for your smartphone, and you have connected car tech as well. And now in the back seat of the Basalt. I generally don't mention this, but you do get window switches in the door itself and not in the center console like the C3 Across, which is a great thing that Citroen is actually listening to us. You also get dedicated air conditioning vents, and they're not just blowers, they actually are air conditioning vents that you can control from the rear seats itself. Now knee room is excellent because it has the longest wheelbase in the segment, but headroom is very tight, and if I extend my neck onto the headrest, I actually touch the roof. So people under 6 feet will be comfortable, but if you are over 6 feet, you will be in a tight headspace. Now the headrests themselves are adjustable and have these wings so that you can lie and sleep comfortably on long journeys. The seats themselves are finished in leatherette and fabric material, and the ones in the back feel a lot more cushioned than the ones in the front. And overall, it is very comfortable for long journeys, especially because this is the first car in the segment that gets adjustable under thigh support. Now you have 3 levels that goes up and down, but it doesn't go front and back. It is not comfortable for me because the bench isn't long enough to cover my entire under thigh. So I would prefer to keep it as standard. Now boot space is 470 liters and should easily gobble up luggage for 4, and that's besides a spare wheel under the floor. It's enough space to fit in a body comfortably or dead. To sum it up, Citroen has been listening to its customer base in India and has added additional features than the C3 Across in the Basalt, which makes it a very good overall product. It has the features, the performance, the comfort, and it is going to be priced aggressively according to Citroen. Now, we aren't aware of the actual prices because they haven't told us yet, but we estimate it to be around 9 lakhs. If it's less than 9 lakhs, it's going to be a very good product with a solid pricing that will change gears for Citroen in India. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below.
Wow. Brilliant driving coupes of India in Goa. But let me ask you this very important question, guys. Very important. The Tata Urus or the Citroen Urus?
Well, I haven't driven the Tata Urus yet, but hopefully we will soon.
Do you actually think the Basalt can turn things around for Citroen in India?
Yes, actually, because it's a very solid product proposition and it offers all the essential features that you would want in your SUV coupe. And it also has some innovative ones like the under-thigh support, it tilts. And it is India's first affordable SUV coupe. So it's very interesting. And well, boss, didn't you drive the other end of the affordability spectrum with another SUV coupe?
The AMG GLC, of course, but because Basalt is such a solid proposition and that under-thigh support is also very whimsical. I felt that it could wear off very, very fast because it wasn't the best, in terms of functionality. You move it, it was not slotting in the well. This is my personal feeling. In terms of drive, in terms of ride quality, it's flawless, it's mind-blowing. And I have a feeling that they will launch it at a price point of 8.5 lakhs starting price, and that will make a lot of guys who are looking at the Nexon and the Hyundais of the world and the Swift Desires to upgrade and move to Basalt because it's a good looking vehicle. But the GLC AMG, which is Mercedes' best selling AMG in a way, let's see my take on that. From studio to the drizzling rain, but with the 2024 Mercedes-AMG GLC43 Coupe, it's the only one in the market which offers the practicality of an SUV. 546 liters of boot space with a sloping roofline, which means you can't get to use the entire boot, and with an AMG character, which means performance and brutality. It's also the world's first electrified turbocharged engine, which comes in the C43 as well. Now, I know the AMG guy in you is shouting, hear the word electric. We'll come to that in a bit because it's not as bad as you think. Let's enjoy the design right now. This sporty silhouette with a flowing transition to the rear is actually what distinguishes and makes it a Mercedes-AMG GLC Coupe and brings out that sportier character. AMG specific radiator grille and vertical struts and front spoiler lip with jet wing design and large air inlets gives it a badge of honor, a badge of a performance car. Now, I have to tell you something very interesting. The GLC43 AMG is inspired by the legendary one man, one engine, that Formula F1 type of philosophy. And this particular machine has been handcrafted by Kevin. So, hello Kevin. You seem to have done a fine job with all the nuts and bolts in place. Very fast machine. This one also is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine which is churning out 421 horsepower and 500 Nm of torque, which is good numbers. Now, if you own the earlier GLC, that used to be a 3-liter V6 engine without the electric vandalism which this one has got. So congratulations, in case you own that, you've just won yourself a jackpot because your one is more priced. I would like to trade this for that, but that's me. But today's generation, this is the most updated, electronically advanced and today's day and age with all a very fresh interiors and everything looks very, very today's age. The price value of the earlier GLC will be very good because this one is going to cost 1.10, 1.15 ex-showroom. That means by the time it comes to your garage, it might put you back by 135, that is 1 crore 35, 40 lakhs. So there's nothing like this in this price point in this segment. It's also the most powerful because there's nothing like this in this segment. The next one is the Lamborghini Urus, and before that, in between, there is the 63 AMG also and a couple of them, but then you keep adding crores. So if you ask me, honestly, in all practicality, if you want this performance and you also want this calmness and practicality, there is nothing like this in this segment. The first human connect with any car is through its steering, and this one, AMG inspired, is very gorgeous. Carbon fiber, microcut microfiber with Alcantara type leather, steers away very nicely, starts off functionality flawless, but the 9-speed gearbox is a little indecisive, especially when you're pulling away. Yes, 0 to 100 comes in 4.8 seconds and also has 15 speakers, 7 and 10 watts, 3D Burmester sound system, which has one more role to play to give you this synthesized exhaust note sound, which is a big tick from my side because it gives you a feeling that you're driving a 1000 horsepower car. Speakers play a big role, but not exactly the entire thing is coming out of speakers just like electric, but it's a mix of that and it's a very good combination. Good job, Kevin.
As I said, it's electrified with a 48 volt onboard electrical system with belt-driven starter generator system, which is actually derived directly from the Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 team. So a lot of racing pedigree here. But since it's riding on 21-inch and has no air suspension, riding is stiff. You feel all the vibrations and the bumps. The normal GST does a much better job in that, but it does 0 to 100 in 4.8 seconds, even after weighing little less than a 2 ton. Should justify a lot of its cons.
It is a very great package, freshly designed. The interior looks totally today's age. Performance speaks of performance. It also speaks of practicality because it can get 5 people to sit. You get bucket seats. You get very nice seating. You have everything. You can take this car to a track. Actually, it gets good enough power to do your daily course and catapult it to a rocket, both together. There's nothing like this in this segment because there is no segment like this. It is something that you need it. If you drive it, maybe you'll experience it, maybe you'll develop the need of it, because if you want performance, there are many other cars that are better than this, and if you want an SUV, then of course there are many other cars better suited. But if you want a combination of that, and if you have a garage which is very expensive, then I guess this is the one you go for. The price has gone up too much, just like everything else in life, especially with Mercedes and BMW. Now let's go back to studio and see you in the next one.
Wow, I just envy you, okay? Performance SUV, an AMG in the rains, and you've given me this.
What? Another British brand?
Okay, refresh my memory. Who went to Kari Motor Speedway, rode 10 bikes and did a lot of action pair thing? Was it you?
Yes, I went there to test tires and to ride bikes really hard. But what I did there, let me not just tell you about it, let me just show it to you. Let's watch it.
On rare occasions, one gets the keys to 10 motorcycles. And on rarer occasions, you're given a track and told to push them as hard as your skills, the motorcycles and the tires allow you to push them. This is a story about tires and how they help you be safe on motorcycles of your choice and how they let you push hard should you find yourself on a track. The journey begins with Eurogrip, a tire manufacturing effort from TVS, trying to outdo international brands around them while also trying to bring forth their IP protected products to over 5 continents. Today, we talk about 2 products, mainly that we were able to test extensively on the track. It was the ProTorque and the Roadhound tires from the entire plethora of the TVS range. One interesting thing, in some countries, TVS sells the soft, medium and hard option for an off-road going tire. Let me know in the comments what model name that is. I will personally shout out the names of the people who can guess it correctly. Anyway, my first time at Kari, and I chose to ease my way through the track and through the tires. Batches of 3, so the tires were going to go through multiple heat cycles. They say that the secret sauce is a thin addition of support to the tire edges, and that really helps them differentiate from the competition. Well, in the KTM 390 runs, it was the tire edges on the Pro Torque tires that seemed to not only give me, but a lot of other journalists around a really tough time. But the product is good, really good at handling the brake loads on the hard braking sections of Curry. Heat was managed well, and the contact to the track was always assuring, apart from the tire edge grips, of course. Good tires though, and quite awesome for the competitive price they are playing at. But the highlight of the show for me, and a lot around me, were the road hounds. It was fixed on the Kawasaki 650 sisters, and boy, it was fun pushing those motorcycles on the track. The tires held their own even when the Versus was leaned at horrible angles on the track, and the sidewalls were actually bliss on this one. All in all, if one of these tires do fit your motorcycle, don't shy away from considering it as an option. They're good, and if not me, they held their own against personalities like them, and of course me.
So I think by the end of the day, we have established that TVS can create really good tires under the name of TVS Eurogrip. And I mean pretty strong tires because I'm sitting on one. And with all that said, back to the studio. I'm stealing this, by the way. Sir, I'm stealing this. Great video.
I'm definitely fast on that track, but how slow are you?
Hey, why are you calling slow, ma?
You should know.
Okay. In meanwhile, tell me something. TVS Eurogrip is trying to be a premium tire brand. You think they can actually do it?
I mean, the rivals that is up against have already put in a lot of effort to get that claim of being international brands. All I think now is for Eurogrip to come out of TVS's umbrella is going to be a big marketing push. And even though TVS is present in over 6 continents and providing tires almost everywhere that you know, it is still the people's perception that has not been affected. Now, in India, people still think TVS to be a mid-size, mid-spec.
I mean, if I ride a BMW 300 GS, I would not like to have strapped TVS tires and move around. I mean, that's how the...
And this is the perception that Eurogrip, as the different market segment that they're trying to create, will achieve. Product is not bad, as we have seen. It's just that they need to have that youthful attribute towards that entire brand.
And quality.
And quality at the same time. So this is where I think the pull and push with the entire brand is going to be.
I have one question though. Eurogrip. Is it from Britain, Eurogrip, or is it an Indian brand?
Britain is not a part of Europe, Brexit. And speaking of international, didn't you go to Prague and drive slow cars there?
Not that slow. I mean, yeah, 1.5 liters Octavia. I definitely expected the 2 liter to drive. But, I mean, it's adequate. The power is good, but, you know, Indians, we expect the 2 liter Octavia to come.
What else did you do in Prague?
I definitely did a lot of things, and I saw a lot of cars which you guys won't be seeing anytime soon.
You also went for a Fabia fan trip, right?
Yes, I definitely went as a passenger in that rally car. I am used to speed, so it was normal for me, but I did really see a lot of people shocked when they came out of the car.
Did you tell the driver to give you the car and stuff?
I asked, but
these guys
then
don't do it.
he's like, no.
Because she was slow.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Yeah.
So, it seems like you had a lot of fun. I can see some...
I was on duty.
I have a big question.
Yes.
Did you drive the VRS? And when is it coming to India?
I drove the VRS, but I got a no when I asked about it, when it's coming to India.
They're tight-lipped about it. They're not sure.
But if we get a lot of comments asking for it, or we get a lot of people talking about it, I hope we can manage something.
And by the way, I call dibs on the VRS if and when it comes to India.
Hopefully, yes.
Cars. I feel a little out of place right now and I have to be somewhere and you guys are coming with me.
Okay, bye.
Does it make any sense to stay indoors in this lovely weather? No, right? And that is why we are out here with the new Yezdi Adventure. Now what's new, you ask? To begin with, it gets the new Alpha 2 engine, which belongs to the new generation of Java Yezdi engines. And apart from the new engine, it also gets an updated main cage with established 69 branding on it. Nice. Now apart from these two things, it also gets an updated exhaust unit and updated sub guard and new colorways to play with. Now the price 2.9 lakh to 2.19 lakh ex showroom. Now is the Yezdi Adventure adventurous enough? Let's go and find out.
Aesthetically, it would be slightly wrong for us to say that it looks exactly the same as before. It does, but now it gets new color options to play with, an updated main cage as well, and a lot better build quality than before. It still looks like the old Himalayan, but since the new one has replaced it, the Yezdi Adventure can enjoy some exclusive attention. Now, these are just the minor changes that won't necessarily impact how the adventure rides. However, Yezdi, being vigilant, has thoroughly updated the mechanicals as well. The new Alpha 2 engine that we first experienced on the Java 350 has found its way here as well. Now this updated powertrain implies optimized gear ratios, upgraded refinement levels, and better low-end grunt for more accessible performance low down. We mostly rode the adventure on slow trails, and that is when it became apparent that it is now much happier and smoother than ever before in the lower revs. It takes off in a nicer and stronger manner because gone is the judder associated with the previous adventure. It also sounds smoother and more refined than before. This adventurous Yezdi also feels calmer at cruising speeds, making it a better all-round package than before. However, the stalling issue, it still persists, harking back to its bleak past. Since Yezdi has also tweaked the underpinnings a little, the new adventure feels more supple over bumps and more planted if one needs to put on some highway miles or carve a canyon with it. However, if you compare it with the Himalayan 450, which you shouldn't, but if you still do, the Yezdi feels much less sophisticated. It still strikes a fine balance between ride quality and riding dynamics, but standing up ergonomics could have been slightly better, because holding on to the motorcycle with your legs could have felt more natural. That being said, the braking performance remains impressive as the adventure also gets multiple ABS modes to choose from. This Yezdi retains the same features as before, as it gets the same digital console which shows ample of data and offers Bluetooth connectivity, turn button navigation, and tilt adjustment as well. You also get a slipper clutch, USB-A and USB-C charging ports, and full LED lighting. Now to conclude things, the Yezdi Adventure, it now feels like the adventure that it should have been from day one. It is now better in almost every aspect, and the fact that it now doesn't have any direct rival is certainly going to work in Yezdi's favor. What is also going to work in Yezdi's favor is the reduction in overall prices. However, it is still not a perfect motorcycle, but given the balance that it strikes between off-road capabilities and on-road performance, is currently unmatched in its price segment.
You still smell like slush.
I'm a dirty person, Mira.
Anyways, guys, this was the first show. I mean, we had a lot of fun hosting it. It's called the TGIF.
But I had a lot of better names, more aggressive.
Well, let us know what you guys think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe because next week we're getting one of the most anticipated SUVs, the Thar Rocks.
And we'll also be discussing your Lamborghini factory visit in Italy and the Rivolto drive.
And the Eurosessi.
Yes.
While these guys will be yapping about cars, I'll be taking you through the BS6 Gold Star, another British motorcycle.
So guys, this is it. Judge us, crucify us. We'll be watching your comments to help us improve the game, but don't forget to
Like,
Share.
Subscribe.
To the TopGear India channel.
and don't forget to hit the bell notification.
Simon, go back.